Hello, welcome to News English from radio and television station. Here comes our news today. On May 22nd, the fifth session of the 15th National Assembly officially opened. This will be held a rather special meeting with many notable highlights. According to the expected program, the fifth session opens on May 22nd, closes on June 23rd, and is organized into two phases. The first session from May 22nd to June 10th, the second session from June 19th to June 23rd. The total working term of the National Assembly is expected to be 22 days. Another remarkable point of this session is that the amount of work being considered and discussed is twice as much as in previous meetings. For example, the revised land law project right after it was first submitted to the National Assembly at the fourth session. The law project continued to mobilize the wisdom and suggestions of the entire people and received more than 12 million comments. At the session of full-time National Assembly deputies, the National Assembly Standing Committee also spent time discussing and giving opinions on this important draft law. There are contents in the draft law that have been completely revised. In addition, the fifth session will also comment on the report on the implementation of the Socio-Economic Development Plan and the state budget in the first months of 2023. According to the National Statistics Department, in April, there were a number of groups of goods and services with an increase in the index compared to March 2023, including beverages and tobacco, up 0.32%, equipment and household appliances, up 0.06%, group of drugs and medical services increased by 0.01%, education group up 0.87%. The average price index in the first 4 months of this year increased by 3.15% over the same period last year. Surveyed at many markets in the province, retail prices of many food products and consumer goods are still highest at the time after the Lunar New Year rapid in 2023. According to many small traders, the reason is that the supply is not stable. Many costs such as freight have not been reduced. The prices of many items such as vegetables, seafood, spices, dry food, and so on have not really cooled down. Even some items have increased in price compared to the time of the Lunar New Year. According to the Federal Statistics Office, in the first 4 months of 2023, the index of industrial production (IIP) still decreased by 1.8% compared to the same period last year, while it increased by 7% in the same period. The reason is due to the slow recovery of the world economy, plus tight monetary policies in many countries, which has reduced the consumption demand of major trading partners. This has led to a decrease in production orders and a decrease in export turnover. The data also shows that the industrial production index in the first 4 months of 2023 compared to the same period last year increased in 52 localities and decreased in 11 localities across the country. In some localities, the index of industrial production achieved a relatively high increase due to the processing and manufacturing industries. Electricity generation and distribution increased, but in the opposite direction, some localities have low or decreased industrial production index due to the processing and manufacturing industry. Mining industry and electricity production and distribution industry increased low or decreased. U.S. President Joe Biden said on May 21st that relations between Washington and Beijing have frozen after the U.S. shot down a hot air balloon suspected of Chinese spying this year, but it should fall very shortly. At a press conference after the G7 summit in Hiroshima, Japan, Biden was asked why a blind hotline between the United States and China was not in operation. He replied, "At the Berlin conference, that's what President Xi and I agreed we were going to do and meet on. And then the silly balloon that was carrying 2 freight cars worth of spying equipment was flying over the United States. It got shot down and everything changed in terms of talking to one another. I think you're going to see that begin to fall very shortly." Biden did not explain why the iceberg in U.S.-China relations could fall quickly. but public opinion doubted this in the context of the current very complicated bilateral relationship. Notably, the U.S. angered China by targeting the advanced microchip trade. On May 21st, Israel's Minister of National Security Itamar Ben-Gvir was reassured by Palestinian officials when he visited the Al-Aqsa Mosque. A spokesman for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said that Ben-Gvir's visit to Al-Aqsa Mosque would not change the fact that Israel occupied the place. The Palestinian Hamas movement also said Israel would suffer the consequences of Ben-Gvir's visit to Al-Aqsa. Al-Aqsa Mosque is located in the area of East Jerusalem occupied by Israel. Ben-Gvir's visit took place on Jerusalem Day to mark the 1967 annexation of East Jerusalem, a move that is illegal under international law. That's all for the news English for today. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.